Okay, so I could see this being some of Biden's territory, running a T10 number out on the index.
Materials from hundreds of
Stuff he
MIT
might
courses.
like to do
Visit
for
MIT Open
MIT running that
at
actual 10-year number. Give him the 5-year master masonry. Who has
So I am
10% on it?
so I'm the
Fermi
other
Lab
person
hitting
who
20.
teaches this class.
I mean, if you're
You
gonna get a
the
God
ability for
particle,
the first class.
probability C++
I'm
a little
going
different over
to
there.
start by
Plus this.
doing a bit of housekeeping, keeping in mind that maybe some people are going to arrive, so it is your responsibility to inform everybody else that of what I said today. Just I got some
We had the Russian Black Queen running STEM.
So we are going
We've been looking for something for the white Sophie Germain numbers.
10 topics. And we are going to give like 3 or 4 choices.
Skinwalker Ranch.
You can also make your own essay, whatever it is. You do have a chance to write up to 10 essays, but you don't need to write that many. You're going to be graded out of the best 5. So you can write any between 1 and 10. And if you have 1, you're not going to have a very high grade, but any between 5 and 10, and then we'll just take
my
the
job.
best 5. Okay?
C++.
I think the syllabus said
Is
7.
the way to deal with your aliens,
Abhijit said
Skinwalker
5.
Ranch.
So I went for the
Little
the
cosmic
easiest thing. So that's one
Compton
thing.
scattering pattern you put up here, how you go about doing it. Some are
The syllabus
basic,
also said
some
that we might
are
not grade all of them,
M2,
but actually we are
like
going
you
to
got
grade
to
all
bring
of
in your
them.
mill mods and
Just
do things.
I would
If
suggest
you
that
don't
go the
have
first
it,
one so that you get,
it's
you get
a
some,
pretty evident
get
giveaway on a
used to it.
45. Then you do
traditionally,
have
that's
one,
been the
but
case
one,
that when
and
students
then all
can
the other ones in the ones in
decide
zero
how to
arrangement,
arrange
configuration,
their
data compression.
their deadlines, they think ex ante that it's sufficient to set all the deadlines
Doesn't necessarily mean you're
late
not
in the semester.
poor. It
I
just
can tell you
means
by experience that it's
I'm not gonna.
turn ex post
I could
mastery
have
to the year.
nothing.
So if I were you,
It's
I would
space time.
kind of arrange things
Craft
to
in such a
do
way
them
MIT class.
as many of them early as possible so you don't get panicked by the end. So that's one. The other component of the requirement for this class is to do the reading.
And Venom Let There Be Carnage this morning, so
And so to
those,
be prepared
you don't know what those things are yet.
to discuss
You might.
to
Skinwalker.
discuss in the class. One way in which we are going to ensure that you're doing the reading is a very, very short pop quizzes once in a while. It also means you have to come to class. That's part of, it's not a class that's very difficult, but one thing that it requires is you actually come.
Feel like lectures.
And so we're going to have those
MIT
at
teachers
any
watching
round of
MIT
time. Very
teachers
simple,
to
2, 3, 4
piggyback off of
questions,
class lectures.
just to check
You
that
get
you've
out
actually
there
read
with
the thing.
the chalk or whatever in hand for morals.
The essay topic for the first, the questions for the first topic were already posted on
The line right here.
So you already
Dendro
have
twister
access
theory.
to them.
That's how the British are doing
As
it
well
when
as
you're
the
in their
deadlines for
classes
the
doing their
first.
lectures.
That's it. Other than that,
Hey,
I gave a version
nobody
of
wasn't paying
Michel,
attention. Hey,
in 1474
messing
yesterday. There
around.
are 2 development classes. So if you're wondering which one you should be in, this one is going to be more based on readings and discussion and lectures, and the other one is going to be going to go more in the detail of the techniques.
I could
of
let y'all come
papers
up here like a machine gun and just hammer out.
solving the models and
You get one, you
repeating
get one, you get
empirical
one. We're gonna
etc.
take pictures of it,
This one
erase
is a
it,
better
hit the board,
introduction.
and
The
shotgun,
other one
and
is
just
better if you already had
until we
a fair
find a
amount of
theory y'all
economics
like,
and econometrics.
and then you're gonna send it to my little
So
computer right here, and
that's
we're gonna.
kind of the-
I'll show you what I
that's
can
the
do with this
trade-off.
collage photon. This line right here.
Other than that,
This line right
obviously
here.
the themes that we are going to be covered are going to be pretty similar. So my sense is probably you don't want to take both at the same time,
Poverty trap.
although you could think of taking them
Demon,
both in sequence.
Maxwell
Then you
Demon
would do
at the gate.
73 for 74 second. I don't recognize any 74 students, but you shouldn't want
Yeah,
to
no.
take 74 and then 73.
You're not
That would
scheduled to be here right now. You're gonna explain yourself.
So you're welcome to shop a little bit for some time and then decide what's more appropriate. You're welcome to take both, but I would have warned you that there
See if
would
I
be
make this
some
phone call
overlap.
right here. Is that your ass? 'Cause I'm at your ass.
That's it for housekeeping. So if you have questions, that's a good
Question.
time. I'm happy to answer questions by email also, but chances are if you have a question on the
Definitely
topic,
got some eagle on
a
that
lot of
one.
people
I
share
don't
it
know.
as well.
Like you'd be surprised. You'd see the eagle for sure lead out there. You usually see a bull or a lion out here, or mask wearer, or whatever you got.
The
Which
class
makes
has
the
been
card
recorded for open
about
courseware, but Don't
front.
worry about saying anything embarrassing that would be edited out. I'm the only one who, and Abhijit is going to be the only ones who are
It's the
being
game.
recorded on tab saying
Where's she gonna go? Where's she going bouncing
I'm
with
assuming
this
if he
thing?
says something extremely smart, we can keep it though. So there is no danger, feel
Well,
free, just ignore them. And
the hardest
hopefully
one is like
the idea is
compress
that if it works
Benzo
well, then we'll have
2020.
it will be one of these classes that people can take on their own.
It's a
down the
very
road.
long thing. You have to put it down on one page. This whole
Anything else?
class, right? Think about Scal.
questions?
Why?
No questions?
Because this whole thing happened in one. Try
When you
to
speak,
take today's class and break it down. Find your hyperbole in the day model. If you didn't know that, that'd make you feel a certain way that the same grandmaster feels when they have to go crank open the crankcase on that thing and fix it.
Otherwise, we're ready to roll. Shall we dive in?
They know. Remember them 45s I was talking about before?
So,
The older you are, the more chances you own
In the
the base of
video
a
that you
mountain
saw,
on the
last
stock
time,
market.
you saw quite a few people who were maybe trapped in some
Figure
kind
out
of
some
poverty
wave
trap.
function to it with
So
the
for example,
program
there was
1,
this
2,
farmer
3, 4, 5,
who before
6,
he was
well,
given fertilizer
7.
had very low yield.
The whole
And
thing
because
is
he had
one
very
of them, that
low
one's
yield,
dopey that
he
you
didn't
don't
have
use. It's the one AI that
much
just
money
sits there and
because he
turns
didn't
its
have
wheels
much
back
money, he
and
couldn't
forth.
buy
But
fertilizer.
you might need to
Therefore,
slide
he
it into
continued
the
to have
and
very
or
low yield.
nor not.
And what the
Get this thing banging around.
project did, the Millennium Village project did, is to give him
So you got
the fertilizer.
13-year-old,
and the
the
hope
older of his
was
3
that
children,
with his
a
first gift for
13-year-old,
fertilizer,
and
his yield would
Lucy's
increase by
2
sufficient,
years older,
amount that down the line
but
he
a
would be able
cousin.
to buy his own fertilizer and grow more and more maize.
It's a
and then,
note about
progressively maybe
mathematically
starts,
the
like,
infinities within
feeding
the
his children
equation
better
Bernoulli.
and
But
buying them
we are
books
here
and
because
all other things you want to
that
think about.
is that thing
So,
that is your
In that
forte.
video,
It's a
the,
really base infinite
Sachs
series
and Jolie
on
video that you saw last time, this argument that there might be these poverty traps keep
reinforcing
coming over and over again.
scaffolding with
So you
pieces
see,
that
for
we already
example,
know.
in the Kennedy story with
I
the
believe this would be
farmers,
philosophy
you see it in
or
the schools. The schools don't have computers.
human
So
behavioral
the kids cannot
psychology.
really learn well. You start putting computers and kids can learn better.
And so
They
you
will
would see
then
a
make more
plasticity
money.
of a
They will
steel
then be able to
bolt
buy computer for their
on a
schools,
skid
etc.,
steer
etc.
for one of the guys, because
So
that's going to be one of the things that
things
clips them that
we
they
are
don't
going to do a
understand.
lot of
It's going
in
to cost
class
them
is
on
to-
gravity
to
in the long
spend-
game.
To try to understand when there are such poverty
And it's
traps.
hard to step in. The safety
when in
guy,
fact
what are you
maybe
doing?
there are
Well,
no-
first thing, the chemical
It's not so
analysis report,
obvious.
you're going to have to wash your eyes
And
out
for that,
with
we have to
bleach when I'm done
understand
with you on my side.
What creates the conditions for such poverty trap to emerge? So what I want to do today is we are going to delve in on one example of one
you got a
particular
graph.
poverty
Me,
trap
like
and
I'm
how that could
a
work.
photon. We'll
which
go
is
through
going
the
to be,
roster with the how the SAW program
fact
works
that
because it gets
we
in a
are
clip
physical and
fired
biological
system.
bodies.
They need a trainer.
But what we're going
They
to go
have
over
to
as
have
the
that.
mechanism
But
is
there's
going to
also
carry
respect
us
in
during the
Constitution.
entire
Fields
class.
that
We're going
dark
to have
matter,
to be
dark
looking for the
energy,
same
dark
type of
kind of
conditions.
wave that stuff. To who, the
So,
what, when, where. Because she
I want
got
to
gravity.
start with
Obviously,
a
the big
story of
dogs in the room
someone that
dog.
actually I met.
She's doing pretty good. I
I
can't wait
met
to see
him.
the
Somebody called
blackboard
Pac
works.
Solin.
But
Pac means Mr. Solin.
in
So that
depth,
he,
the poverty
people in
trap could
Indonesia
be
don't really have
quantified to
income
this here
tomorrow,
45 on
again,
trig,
vertically, etc. And
which
I
is a
can
learning
end up
curve.
at the
If I pulled out a learning
at the
curve of
intersection
photons
of the 45 degree
and just
line
give you
and
that,
the
you would
S-shape
say,
curve. And
well,
now
why
it's a
are they
higher
so
intersection.
close in Feynman diagrams?
Now what happens
This
if I
collision
start,
into the next collision that lets off a
at the
photon
point at
and
the
a positron
stick
or a
point in the
neutron,
middle over
a
there.
negative photon emission,
Which
whether it's
way
understood or
will
the
that go?
fuzz of that collision. The
that will go
Higgs is
down. If I go
that
at the stick point, I go
action
vertical,
at number. So you're
then
quantifying
left,
this,
then down.
renormalizing A
so after which
learning
point
curve
do I go?
X, and you
what
gotta
is the
take
key
it to,
point after
well,
which
now the
I will
learning
start
curve is in this
going to the
form.
high
I got to change it over to A.
point? Yeah.
And so
The
at these
intersection
points,
from below.
they are congruent
So
inside
at
of a photon
this point
polarized
where
wave
we
function
where
that
the
says
45
these are the
degree line,
motions and
where the
positions, or at least
capacity
the way
curve
you
intersects
could
the 45 degree line
index
from
what
below.
the shadow
Anything to
position
the
looks
right,
like
go to the
as
high
that
steady state.
form of that
Anything to the
object
left, go to the
passing
low steady
through a photon.
So
Like,
this is,
so
if
we
you
could track
want,
photon.
what
It's not by, it's
this possibility
it's a
that
light
there are
beam,
two steady states
but you
depending
actually
on
track it
where
with
you start
high-speed
from
cameras to
is
say, well,
what
the pulse
the
wave
formalization
of
a poverty trap.
1 second
which is
or one
anybody
30-second interval, because that 10-second interval
equilibrium over there, the intersection between the
is
the
at
place
scale
where the
to
if
the
someone
way
starts with exactly
within,
this income, where do they go?
and then
someone
putting
starts
them
with
all
exactly
into
the
a Carl
intersection
Sagan
of the
universe would show a
45
pulse wave
and
pass
S-shaped
through a water
curve.
bottle.
Do they go down
And
or
that
do
water
they go up?
bottle would have been that graph
They
right
just
there.
stay there. So it is also a steady state. And why did they cut employment rather than cut wages? Well, his theory was that if they had cut wages,
Catch you on the next one.
his wages would have been so low.
Well, the
he would
game
not
is
have
you
been
take away
able
their
to
lunch
buy
breaks and they'll
enough
work harder.
food,
There's
especially
a
as the food
psychology
prices were
experiment
rising
for
at the
it.
same time.
The
Camp with the equivalent of 1 day of wage, that would have been too little to
Washaball,
sustain
or whatever it
himself, to
is.
be strong enough to actually work for a full
Wabasha,
day.
Camp Wabasha, Boy Scout camps.
So
they fuck
seeing
competitive
that,
shit
the
with each
employer,
other. 2
instead
high
of
school
cutting the
camps,
wage,
the Bell
and
and
therefore
Oz
making
and
him unable
Hancock,
to work,
the Marshmallow Experiment,
you give a wage of
Stanford,
someone,
NP Organization of Field Theory and Students,
1,000 rupees.
the
1,000 rupees is not
guidance
enough
counselor
to
from the
get,
history teacher and
to get
math
yourself
calculus teacher, what's going
energetic
around
for a
in
full day of
physics,
work.
W
So you spend your 1,000
W
rupees, but the
boson
person
Walgreens
can't
in
feed
town,
himself
5 Mile
for a day of
Run,
work,
the
you get
Loop,
nothing
the
out of
Line,
him, so there is no